unbelievable act of bravery from Leigh Wood to see through the first round, the second round, the middle storm, come back in the fight, and just such a clinical knockout at the end, which, you know, many of us didn't even see coming. I said to Ben, and I think shouted at Leigh, you've got to knock him out to win this fight. It was the only way he was going to win the fight, and he did it, and it was just incredible, incredible. Michael Conlan was brilliant, Leigh Wood was brilliant, the atmosphere was brilliant, and like I said, hopefully Michael Conlan's okay and we can enjoy what was just an incredible night. Over to the floor for questions.
He just probably couldn't have had a worse start really, just with a knockdown in the first round, but he seemed just bit by bit to kind of gain a foothold. Maybe the fourth round was a big moment. You kind of won that round and that sort of drove you on a bit.
I can't remember. I thought, to be honest, I started with the game plan. I started with what we worked on, and I got dominated down over the top. Someone to the body, switched it up and I parried too big. And at the end of the fight, I said, just a flash knockdown. I got shot up on the floor, alright, but he said, no, your head bites off the floor.
Yeah.
But honestly, I thought it was just a flash knockdown. But Michael was so tough and over the right.
Did you know actually in the last round that you probably needed a knockout to win it? I just saw the cards that you were behind him.
I knew it was close, yeah. I knew I had to really outside.
That's 2 fights in a row, 12th round knockouts, so you're definitely a good finisher.
Yeah, as Ben says, you know, I'm one of the biggest punchers in the division for the week. Yeah, I need to watch it back.
I think first off, congratulations on producing one of the best fights probably many of us have seen in this room. It's an incredible amount of credits. Caught you with a lot of body shots in there. How much did that take out of you? Did it look like obviously you were looking down low because you kept and dig you there? Was there a concern there that you thought it was getting to you and almost close and stuff?
No, I'm a tough kid, but we knew Michael was a big body puncher and he's a very good body puncher. I think the time I spent at Leigh Wood gym for over 10 years, body spotting every single day, I managed to suck them up and carry on cracking on. But he did hurt me with about 8 body shots that really took the wind out of me. And I caught him in a body shot one round. I thought, bang, that's definitely he wins. He threw a combination back, so he's a tough kid as well.
Question just for Ben. Ben, how proud are you of Leigh coming through a lot of adversity? It's been a huge moment for him. A lot of pressure fighting in his home city. You mention pressure all the time. It proved he's got unbelievable heart. It's incredible that he managed to get that big jump.
Yeah, I was never worried about the pressure. I knew he'd deal with the pressure. He's a very cool, calm, collected guy. But one thing for me, take boxing aside, he's one of the best human beings I've ever met. I said going into this that every blood, sweat and tear that both guys have shed in their sporting careers and in their life led to this moment. And trust me when I say it, I've worked with a lot of good quality fighters. He deserves this.
Question for Eddie, off the back of that performance, what next for Leigh Wood?
I mean, obviously once we find out that Michael was okay, we can start planning the future. You've got a huge fight coming up, Kiko Martinez against Josh Warrington. Will be another similar atmosphere to this tonight. It looks like, how the WBA have allowed Leo Santa Cruz to have what is nearly, I think, 3 years without
over 3 years,
126 pounds. It's ridiculous. But you know what?
February 2019 was the last to film that.
But you know what? We'll fight Leo Santa Cruz as well. That's a great fight for Leigh Wood. That's he's city ground stuff now. And the thing is about the Kiko Martinez fight. Kiko Martinez, if he wins, you do the fight at the city ground. If Josh Warrington wins, there's an argument whether we go City Ground or Ellen Road. But you know what? It's a nice argument to have. It's a nice argument to have. And when he was walking down there to the ring, I said to him, this is just like Carl Froch against Butte. And I said to Carl Froch that night, if you lose tonight, mate, he's going to take everything you got. And I said to Leigh as well, this is just the beginning for you. You've just got to believe in yourself and go and win this fight. And but to do it like that in the 12th round, I wish that. Michael would have got up and we could have been celebrating like an all-game match, but that will come. But it was just the most dramatic fight I've ever seen, and it just shows you 2 things in boxing. One, never give up, because even though many thought that he was spent, he's still got great power in both hands. And 2, never switch off. Like Michael Conlan, I thought Michael Conlan was brilliant. I thought he boxed a brilliant fight, and just you know, the pressure, everything, you know, the knockdown in the 11, wasn't, it doesn't really matter, but just things started to change a little bit, you know, and I have to be honest, you know, I was screaming at him at the start of the 12 saying you must knock him out to win, but I never really see that coming. You know, I would love to have, you know, I dreamed of that coming, but if you ask me honestly, can he do it? I would, you know, I have my doubts because he went through so much in the fight, and you see fighters lose their power when they've taken so much punishment in a fight. That was what was so spectacular about the knockout. He went down to the first round, he was out, got up, he was lucky the bell came, he somehow survived the second and third. But to still carry that power in the 12th round shows you how strong a puncher is, but as well shows you how well conditioned he was. Because you don't get up from knockdowns like that and knock someone out in the 12th round if you haven't done your conditioning right. So well done to Ben and all the guys.
Question for Leigh. Leigh, did you know you needed to knock him out to win?
So it was time. I thought I needed to hurt him around convincingly, maybe a knockdown. And hard. I was just in the zone, you know. It's hard to say. I just gave everything, and like I said in the build-up, you know, I ain't got to quit him, but it was round 1, round 2, not for 1 second.
Question, I guess, for Ben and Leigh. Probably seemed that the momentum swing on the 10th round. Was there anything that was said between the start of the 10th round and putting pressure on Michael, maybe potentially starting to fade? Seems to be about halfway through the 10th round, you sort of started to take over.
Not really. Obviously, I'm a strong finisher.
Leigh banged away at his body the whole fight as well. I know Mick was banging away back at the body, but that was part of, we wanted to bang away at Mick's body to slow him down the second half of the fight. He is one tough dude, very confident. Like, some of those shots were ridiculous. And not only did he go into a shell and survive, he fired back, fought back, like one tough man. But they did start to take their toll and created moments for Leigh in the later parts of the fight, as you mentioned there.
Eddie, if we didn't have, obviously, the potential of obviously Warrington and Kiko in a few weeks' time, would it have been a rematch you would probably maybe like to have done?
I don't know, we'll have to see. Like, you know, at the moment, let's just hope he's okay before we start talking about rematches and stuff like that. It was, from an atmosphere perspective, one of the most incredible atmospheres I've ever seen. Irish fans amazing. These fans, like, the city's been waiting for a fight night like that for a long time. And you know, like 10 years ago, we had Carl Froch against Lucian Bute, and that was one-sided, but it was very, very dramatic, and it felt like, you know, but that was off the charts.
Question for Eddie. Eddie, you know Nottingham is a fighting city, and you've seen the atmosphere here tonight. How realistic is City ground?
So if Leigh Wood fights in Nottingham again, it will only be at the City Ground.
Yes.
Because, you know, that's been his dream for a long time, and I promised him, I said, if you win this fight, we're going to the City Ground. Listen, if it's Vegas or Santa Cruz or whatever it is, we'll see. But, you know, for a long time, Leigh Wood has been scrimping around, right, for no money in the sport, boxing for no money, on the road, and the last, you know, year or so, he started making money, made a lot of money tonight, and he's going to make a load of money in the next fight, and he's dedicated his whole life to the sport. Yeah. You see what he went through tonight. You know, he deserves everything he gets from here, and you know, we'll make sure it's a massive fight wherever it is.
Could you sum up your emotions for us?
Very emotional. I've shed a few tears actually.
Well done, mate. You do great, mate.
Amazing, mate. Well done, Leigh.
Good, Leigh Wood!
Massive heart, mate. You've got a massive heart.
I couldn't leave me away from my kids, like, it's hard, but worth it, you know.
Leigh, I think when we spoke in Belfast, you said, a fella said to you before about winning the world title is one thing, but retaining it's another. You just did that tonight, and that was huge.
Yeah, I knew what I was prepared to go through to win that fight against Canada. I was prepared to walk with fire, so I knew Mick would be the same. So I knew, like I said before, if he was giving 50, I'd give 59. If he gave 89, I'd give 90. And whatever he was prepared to give, I had to give one, but I had to dig deep. I knew there'd be times in this fight which I'll get a good check, and I've already had before in other fights. I knew it was there, I just got to stay mentally strong. even in the preparation for this fight, I went through quite a lot. When the fight got announced, I couldn't even throw my hand. I think it was a bit early from the operation. Could have done with a bit more time. But yeah, I mean, obviously, don't make your excuses because I won, but preparation could have been better. On the first spot, I got a massive cut and a few bits and bobs happened. But like any camp, you come across hurdles. Just like the fight, you come across adversity. And I've been through it in the camp. I've been through it in other fights, and I have that experience on the night. And I don't think Mick Adam might be the difference.
A lot of the people here tonight, Lee, are the people who've been backing you for years through the tough times because it's in Nottingham, and you've talked about wanting to fight in Nottingham. So what did that mean to have that support of all these people here?
Massive, a small percentage of them would have been my debut at Clifton Edge, a very small percentage of them. Yesterday there's more people in my way than there was my professional debut. But they've been following me for years, and they went to Hull when I got beat for the British title, and I was devastated. I was literally devastated for weeks. In fact, Jordan actually stayed in there. It's over that night to have me on suicide watch. No, it's been some journey to get to here. I'm not prepared to curl over for one bit, and there's some massive fights ahead. It's not over yet. I said that before the fight. This is my peak. This is where I finish. Got some big fights ahead.
Given the emotion you showed in the press conference, how difficult was it to contain that emotion during the fight and maintain the game plan that Glenn provided?
The game plan would have made that fight a lot easier. But I struggled because Mick's a very good fighter. He's a two-time Olympian, so skill-wise, it was hard for me to get my head around a game like Southbourne. I need to work on that a lot. But emotion-wise, I felt like I held it together, and I kept with the game plan majority of the time. Ben said, don't choose the head early, and I chip away the body, and I think that's what won the fight in the end over the rounds.
How did you feel when you saw what happened with Michael again?
Devastating. I just hope he's alright. I've heard he's up and he's talking, so I'd like to see him, make sure he's alright. It's hard to celebrate when we finish like that.
And going into that 12th round after the knockdowns, did your advice to Leigh change based on what you've been asking to do in that last round?
Yeah, I think it was going into the 11th. I looked at Eddie and said, "What you got?" And he said, "Need a knockout." And I said to Leigh that I knew that. Listen, Mick's a tough game lad, and I knew that he was going to come out and fight for his life and let his hands go earlier because he wanted that title. And we didn't really know. It wasn't clear cut, especially with a knockdown in the 11th. Who was ahead? So I knew he was going to come out and let his hands go. I said to Leigh, punch with him, time him. When you get into a clinch, walk him back to the ropes. Once you get there, occupy him up top, back downstairs, and then switch your attack up top, and eventually he found the shot. But listen, game plans, this, that, and the other. Yes, fantastic, brilliant job, both sides. But wow, like what both guys gave, showed. Do you know what stands out for me more than anything? Not once did either of them look like. Once did either of them quit and even cross their minds. Either of them in a fight like that. Not once.
It was as the fight went on, past 7, 8. It was the closing 30 seconds of every round. They were just trading up in the middle of the ring, and it was just like. And I was thinking, with the body shots Leigh was landing, I was thinking, surely
It's going to take his toll at some point.
Yeah, and it was actually one round. I think it was the 8th or 9th. He started to look tired, but then in the next round, you looked like you'd done your beats in the round before. And I thought, oh no, he hasn't got enough left,
I think throughout the fight, he caught me about 8 body shots, took the wind out of me, and I looked at him and went, it is gone, so what? Like, I'm still standing here, but it does take its toll. I can't back with him, so Mike was so tough. You know what I mean? Hands gloves. Such a tough kick, but great.
Guys, couple more.
Is it hard for you, like Eddie's touching this, just to enjoy the win when Michael's
Yeah, I just want to talk to him first, see if he's alright. He's alright, yeah.
Eddie, Michael fell right in front of you and you were next to his family. It looked very ugly when it happened.
Yeah.
Scenes like that aren't good for the sport, are they?
Scenes like that just a part of the sport, unfortunately. It's not that they're not good for the sport. Everyone knows. Everyone's been around boxing for years and years. Seen it. I've seen terrible things happen in that same seat. And it's hard because I was sitting there. Jamie Connon was on my left. his dad was on his left, and the whole fight we were back and forwards, you know, and he was goading me and I was goading him, and you know, and in the 11th I said, you know, I think, you know, we got him here, and no one likes to see the fight end like that, you know, and he was unconscious standing up, you know, he got hit by the right hand and he was out and sagged through the ropes. The guys caught him on the way down, and you know, the fight was over before he left the ring, but obviously he weren't. They were brilliant. He eventually wanted to get up, to be fair to him, he wanted to take, but they wanted to make sure they could administer oxygen.
They did catch him, didn't hit the ground?
No, not, I mean, he was out on coming through the ropes, and they caught him on the way down, whether he bumped his back or, but I don't believe that he had a significant fall on the way down. I think he was hopefully more cushioned, but he was. I haven't seen the replay because we're not airing it until we find that he's. I'm sure some people are, but from the pictures I've seen, you can see he's out, standing up. Lee turned and celebrated. And I think Steve Gray was stopping the fight, but when he went through the ropes, he knew 20 seconds he had to get back in the ring, which he was. You know, he could have had 20 minutes, and he might not have got back in the ring. So just hope he's okay.
Eddie, just want to ask your thoughts on Gary Cully. Obviously a big...
You know, no one really does that to Miguel Vasquez, and for a lot of these guys, Kevin Agyarko as well, it's a crazy experience for him. I mean, even Lee's never boxed on a stage like that before. You know, he won the world title in our back garden. You know, he's boxed on some big shows. But it's true, isn't it? It's true. But I said to him back there, before he went through, I said, go do, you know, I said, this is your time. I said, but most of all, soak it up there. And you really did. You was up there for about 5 minutes before you decided to walk, you know, but that's part and parcel. This is what I said, this is what you dreamed of your whole life. You know, like he said, when he was in Hull and got stopped by Gavin McDonald, you honestly think he'd be headlined at Nottingham Arena in front of 9,000 defending his world title? No chance. It's a Cinderella story. So, guys, on that note, we need to get out of here, alright? So thank you very much. Well done.